Hey guys, it's the Phoenix here, coming at you with a new podcast starting hopefully here soon. It's gonna try to do it every weekend. I'm gonna be talking about my favorite movies that I've seen, maybe review some movies here and there, maybe even review some music here and there. Yeah, gonna try to start doing that and maybe start doing some YouTube videos, maybe streaming a little bit more on YouTube. Um, so, to start off this podcast, this first episode, I actually recently had the chance to go to Sundance for the week, all last week. So, I was gone from Sunday to last Saturday up at Sundance Film Festival for the week. Got excused from school and everything. Um, that has to be one of the most interesting experiences I think I've ever had. As a person who loves film and loves reviewing film, it was a lot of fun, and I definitely gained a lot of knowledge from said experience. I saw some really interesting films. The first night that I saw a film, I saw this little film called Landscape with Invisible Hand. It has Tiffany Haddish and a few other people in there that are, starting to get decently popular as well. Michael Gandolfini showed up in there. It was an overall really interesting film about aliens um, who take over our economy. So it was an alien invasion film, but not your typical alien invasion film. They took over the economy instead of taking over humans and controlled most of it. And that was just the first night. That was the premiere. Very interesting movie overall. Uh, I'm pretty sure it got picked up by a studio. I don't know if it did. Um, really weird film. The second night we were there, I had seen. I cannot remember what I had seen actually. I know that. Give me just a second, because now I can't remember what all I saw. I saw You Hurt My Feelings with Julia Louis-Dreyfus. It was this comedy family film. Overall, very interesting concept and very funny. Had me laughing the whole time. Really enjoyed it as a whole, though. Highly recommend watching it if they end up releasing it. It was just really funny, very fun film. Go watch it if it comes out and releases. Wednesday, I saw this foreign film called Slow. My honest opinion is it was not very good. I saw it and just didn't enjoy it. A lot of people talked about the chemistry between the actors, but I just didn't get that at all from it. There's an audience out there for it, I'm sure, but it was just not for me. I saw this movie with Jonathan Majors called Magazine Dreams. He played this bodybuilder who just can't build up his body enough. He went through and we saw, he had to take care of his uncle and do all these things and ends up being able to meet his idol, but something happens between them and that kind of really made the movie pick up a little bit. Overall, very interesting film. Very, very intense film. It was very, very hard to watch some of these scenes just because of how intense they actually were. We saw mentions of body image issues and mentions of shootings, and I'm not one to cry, but this movie definitely had me tearing up. And that normally doesn't happen. The third movie I watched on Wednesday while I was there was Infinity Pool. Let me tell you, that movie was an experience. I don't have any other comments on it, but wow. It was absolutely insane. And the fact that it's a Cronenberg film should have let me know before I went in to see it. I remember sitting in there just watching the film and watching what was going on the screen and just being very shocked and had no idea how to respond other than like nervous laughing. So that was my third night there. My fourth night there, which would have been Thursday, I actually didn't see much other than Aliens Abducted My Parents, and now I'm kind of feeling left out. It was okay. It was a family film, your typical family film, you know, comedic, definitely for children and adults alike. Not my favorite movie. Not the worst, though. It was better than the foreign film that I saw. On Friday, I saw Cassandra, which is about a wrestler who is gay and goes through the many struggles of being what's called an exotico lucha. These are people who have very big personalities and wrestlers that don't typically fit into the norms of lucha wrestling. So you got to see this biographical film about this wrestler named Cassandro and see what he goes through in his struggles, and that film was absolutely phenomenal. They did an absolutely amazing job with it. Highly recommend it. Whenever it releases, if it does, watch it, because it is a very, very well produced film. Very well made. The last film I saw when I was there was Sometimes I Think About Dying. It has Daisy Ridley in it, and it's a rom-com, but made for socially awkward people. So you see the struggles that she goes through with romance and opening up to people as a very socially awkward person. A person who doesn't necessarily fit into the social norms. She goes in, does her job, goes home, and that's it. Has very basic favorite foods, things like that. Then she meets this guy with a very outgoing personality. He's very much a fun person to be around. And he kind of starts to bring her out of her shell a little bit, and she starts to become more open. And the film ends on a really great note. If hopefully that one also releases, highly recommend going to watch it. Over the weekend, because I also had some online films, I watched Run Rabbit Run. This movie was about a fertility doctor and her daughter, and it was not what I was expecting at all. It had a very interesting story, and the amount of crazy things that happened in this movie was just very fun movie to watch. Very deep. One of the better horror movies I saw come out of Sundance this year. One of the better movies to come out in the past few years, actually, because there have been some real stinkers, like Halloween Ends last year. That movie was terrible. The last film that I saw was Divinity. Let me tell you, That film was an experience. That film was worse than Infinity Pool in terms of the things we saw and the things that happened. Oh my goodness. I can't even begin to describe everything that happened. It it was a lot. Really weird, wacky film, but a lot of fun to watch. I'm not gonna lie. I really did sit there and enjoy watching it, as weird and as wacky as it was. Uh, Hopefully, a lot of these films end up getting picked up. I don't know if they will or not. The other things we did while we were in Park City, we went to eat at different restaurants, went and explored the culture of Park City, and it was constantly snowing all the time. Just snow most of the days that we were there. So the roads were super icy and it was very cold. But honestly, a lot of fun. I would do it again if I had the chance. Uh, sure, the flight wasn't great back, but it wasn't terrible. It was a lot of fun. Got to try some new restaurants that I've never had before and just explore Utah a little bit. And overall, it was just a really fun experience that I think everyone who loves film should try to experience at least once in their lives, even if they never get to again. I really, really appreciate the experience that I now have, that I can take into maybe reviewing movies for you guys and other things. It kind of gave me a fresh perspective on things like that when reviewing films, because I haven't reviewed films in a while. I've had to deal with school and a bunch of other things, and life has just gotten crazy over the past few months dealing with everything. Sundance is definitely a way to bond with other people over film as well. And so that kind of helped me to look at film differently, as these are all independent films. And I can't wait to see where this takes my journey in film and where this takes my career in film and everything, because I want to do film critiquing. It's something that I've wanted to do for a while as a career. It's something I want to do as a side career. And so I honestly think, with all this new knowledge that I have of the film process as a whole and different film processes, I can take how I normally look at film, which is just, sitting there and enjoying, and maybe put a different aspect on it and a different way of thought on it, whether that be taking the film and putting it into thoughts towards my Christian walk, or just taking the film at face value and trying to understand the story and trying to apply that to my life. So all in all, I think that the Sundance Institute is a great institute and gives fantastic opportunities to watch film and just go and enjoy a time in Utah, which I would never have gone to if it wasn't for Sundance. I don't know what all there is to do in Utah. So yeah, this is going to be a bit of a shorter podcast. It's not going to be a very long episode, as it's only my first episode and I'm still getting into this, so I have no idea, what I'm doing. Still learning everything that there is to podcasting, but as I get better at it, I'm sure the episodes will get better and longer, better in content. This first episode was just me kind of rambling about films that I saw at Sundance. So, if you do end up listening to this, thank you. I am just a poor college kid with a dream to review films as a career. I'm also a music guy as well, so you may see a little bit of music reviews every now and then, but it won't be as often as you see film reviews. So, thank you. Thank you again if you do decide to listen to this podcast. Really means a lot to me. And I just want to say thank you to everyone that supports me as a whole. And God bless. Have a good day, everybody.